up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel, which I'm super excited about. And it doesn't necessarily have a name, but it's basically just going to be kind of like mom chats. I want to pick a topic to just kind of talk about. It's not going to necessarily be like an informative video necessarily, just kind of me sharing my experiences about something, or, you know, just kind of like telling my story about a specific part of motherhood to make people feel less alone, because I know that when I first became a mom, there were so many things that I didn't know and I didn't expect, and even things that I expected but didn't expect to go a certain way, that I just like, it would have been really helpful for me to have a video like this to know that other people were experiencing what I was also experiencing. Because motherhood can be really tough, especially first-time moms in the very beginning. So for today's video, as you can obviously tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about my experience with postpartum depression. I feel like postpartum depression is talked about a lot more than it used to, but I still don't think I fully understood what it was and what to expect. I kind of expected that I would experience it to some degree just because that's just kind of how I am, but I wasn't really sure what those feelings would be and how they would affect me. So this video is essentially just going to be me telling my story about my experience. It's not going to be really like what I did to fix it or anything like that. It's going to be some tips for like how I did get through it, and I want to share something with you guys at the end of a really cool way that you can get some affordable counseling. Super convenient that you can do it right from your home, just on your phone or your computer, and something that I think would be really helpful for a lot of moms out there that don't have time, don't have a lot of money, don't just have the like convenience of being able to take an hour and go out and go see somebody. So that'll be at the end of the video, but for this video I really just want to share my story about my experience with postpartum depression. I am almost 5 months postpartum now. Archer turns 5 months this actually coming week, which is just crazy. I can't believe he's already 5 months old, and it has been so much fun and so amazing, but also there's been some really tough parts. So yeah, I guess I got my coffee here. Caleb has the baby, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about what I experienced. So without further ado, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into the video. So I had a relatively easy pregnancy. It really, like, I wasn't affected emotionally a lot. My hormones were totally normal. I wasn't like crying all the time or anything like that, which I fully expected because I cry all the time regularly. But yeah, pregnancy was just pretty easy for me. I didn't feel a lot of like extreme emotions. I didn't feel much different. I didn't necessarily love pregnancy, but I didn't hate it either. I was kind of just really excited to meet the baby because my sister had had a baby 4 months prior, so I was kind of like around him as a newborn. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for my baby to be here. So I kind of wished away my pregnancy pretty quickly. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it as much as I wish I did, and as much as I definitely plan to in the future if I am lucky enough to get pregnant again. So when I obviously wasn't pregnant anymore, and after I had Archer and we brought him home, I found myself kind of like mourning my pregnancy, I guess, in a way. I was so happy that he was finally here, and I didn't wish him away by any means, but I really was so sad that I wasn't pregnant anymore, that like he wasn't still in my belly. And that was something that was so confusing to try to explain to people and confusing to feel, because like I was really glad that he was physically here, but at the same time I still wanted him in my belly. So I couldn't really explain it because it was like, I don't know, I wanted him 2 places at once. And I've read that a lot about postpartum depression, that it's like, it's not that you want your baby to go away, it's just like, I don't know, it's super confusing. So that's kind of how I was feeling within the first few days of getting home. It was really weird for me because I was just so excited that he was here, and I loved him so much, and I was just so happy, but at the same time I was super sad. And when Caleb and I first had Archer, we were kind of decided together that we were only going to have 1 baby. So I think it was also really hard for me. I didn't realize this at the time. I realized it later on, that I had only had 1 birth experience, and that was going to be my only birth experience, because I loved giving birth. It was seriously like the most amazing thing ever. I have my birth story on my channel that I can link down below, where I tell all about my birth, but it was just like, I have never felt so amazing in my entire life. So the idea that that was over and I was never going to get to do that again was like crushing me. And it was kind of, the way that I was able to describe it best was like the day after Christmas, or the day after you get home from a really big trip, where it's something that you've been waiting for so long, and you've been planning and you've been preparing and you've been so excited, and then it's over, and it's just over, and that's it. So I feel like, you know, you're pregnant for 9-10 months, however it works out, and you're so excited and you're just waiting for that day to come. Maybe you're nervous and terrified, or maybe you're just like so excited like I was. I was not nervous about giving birth at all. I was so excited. and then, you know, you give birth and it's over, and it's amazing, and you have this baby, and that's super incredible, but you just never get to give birth to that baby again. And that was also a struggle for me, because soon after having Archer, Caleb and I decided that we were going to have another baby if we can, and that definitely helped a lot, knowing that I was going to get to give birth again. But the idea that I would never get to give birth to Archer again, like I would never get to experience that for the first time, it was just, I don't know, I could not get over it. And I understood, like I could logically say it like I'm saying to you guys right now, that I know that I'll probably get to give birth again, and I'll get to be pregnant again, and I'll get to do this all over again. And now I have this amazing baby, which is amazing. But it was just so hard for me to come to terms with the fact that Archer was just always going to be here physically now, and he would never be in my belly again. I would never get to experience all the firsts again. I would never get to have him safe in me again. I would never get to experience all of that for the first time again. And I don't know, for weeks that honestly just destroyed me. I was so, obviously you're physically exhausted, and that's a really, really hard part of motherhood, is you have to be available to breastfeed every 2 hours, you're awake every 2 hours or more, you've got this crying baby, you've got a screaming baby, you've got a happy baby. Regardless, you're just exhausted, you're constantly doing all these new things, and it's so just amazing, but you're so tired. And on top of that, I was just so emotionally exhausted that I could not find my happy spot. I was crying all the time. Like I would just randomly start crying to Caleb all the time, and he was so amazing about it and would listen to me and would help me through it. But it was just, I don't know, it was so bizarre to feel so happy and so sad all at the same time. And I think that that's one of the reasons that I want to make this video, is because I can't necessarily put it into words, but I know that if I had watched a video of a woman who's postpartum who was like, I was so sad but I was so happy, in the beginning of my postpartum journey, I would be like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. Like it doesn't make sense to put it into words, but I just want you guys to know that if you're feeling like that, or if you're about to have a baby, maybe you can come back to this video or keep this in your mind, that the feelings of postpartum depression are so confusing, because they just do not make sense, because it's super contrasted emotions all at the same time. And sometimes you just really can't put it into words. Sometimes you can't even figure out what you're feeling or why. I definitely think that I figured it out, and it was definitely the morning of my pregnancy, and just the idea that I would never be pregnant with Archer again. I would never give birth to Archer again. And initially it was the idea that I would never give birth at all again, because I really was okay with the idea of only having one baby. Caleb and I were set on that idea, and we were both okay with it. And then honestly, within like an hour of having him, I was like, I have to do that again. I was so sad that I would never get to do that again. And I felt almost a weight lifted off of me when we did decide that we were going to have another if we could, and that it wouldn't be my last time giving birth. And then that like held me over for a few days, and I was okay. And then it kind of hit me that even if I did get to do it again, I wouldn't get to do it with Archer again, and I wouldn't get to do it for the first time again. And I'm someone that I really hold those kinds of experiences close, especially first experiences. And I'm definitely someone that's super nostalgic, and I look back on things all the time. And I think about like the most random stuff, like the first time Caleb and I went to a certain restaurant, the first time we went to the movies, the first time we kissed, the first time we did this and that. Like first times are really, really important to me. So the idea that, you know, my first time was amazing and I wouldn't change anything about it, but that it was over and I would never get to experience it again. And that, you know, you could never explain the emotions that you felt during it to anybody. They just wouldn't quite understand, even if they're a mom themselves. Everybody has their own birth experience, and you could just never put into words how incredible it is when that baby comes out and is put on your chest. And I'm so grateful that Caleb was there right next to me to experience the whole thing, because when I would talk to him about these feelings, he was totally able to be like, I know, like he was there, he understood without having to put into words. Like we both got to experience it together and understand how truly incredible it was. And that almost made it harder, that it was just so incredible. I'm so grateful that I didn't have any sort of traumatic birth experience, that it all went to plan and he was totally healthy, totally fine, and just perfect in every way. But I struggled for probably a good 2 to 3 months, and I still do honestly sometimes struggle with the fact that I'm not pregnant anymore, and I'll never be pregnant again with Archer specifically, and that my first time birth experience is over. And along with that, I'm so excited to be pregnant again. Like I would love to be pregnant again right now. Like I'm really sad that I didn't fully embrace being pregnant the first time around, because I was just too anxious and too excited for the baby to get here, that I'm glad for my second pregnancy, I'll be able to slow down a little bit and really just embrace all of it. Hopefully not have the terrible morning sickness experience I had the first time around, but just really, you know, take it all in, because we are only planning to have 2 at this point. Who knows how I'll feel after we have the second one. But we're definitely only planning to have 2, and I do feel okay with that. I feel okay with now being able to prepare myself that this would be my last pregnancy experience, my last birth experience, and to just really be able to know that and soak it all in. Because the first time you give birth, you don't know what to expect. You don't know, I mean, I kind of knew what to expect because my sister had just had a baby, but our birth experiences were very different. Like I said, I have my birth story on my channel down below if you want to watch it, but essentially, like, I got to the hospital at 3:30 in the morning, and I didn't give birth until 9 o'clock at night. I had to be given Pitocin. I was in the hospital for a really long time, so I was definitely very anxious to get the birth going and get him out. And I think that was also it too, is I didn't really, like, the excitement wore off after laying in that hospital bed for pretty much 24 hours. And, you know, like I said too, it was really amazing and I wouldn't change it, but coming home and bringing him home and just experiencing all those emotions was super tough. So honestly, I remember when I was like reaching the end of my pregnancy, I was like, get this thing out of me. I was starting to get uncomfortable. It just like was not fun. So I think you kind of only remember the good parts. Like, I don't, when I say my birth was so incredible, it was super painful. Contractions are terrible, but you forget about those immediately after you're done, because it's just like pushing a baby into the world. I have never felt more powerful and just amazing. And it's like a high almost. So when that's over and you kind of come down from it, it's like sad. It's really sad. So I think that was really rough for me. It was just like, I was so high, I was so excited, I was so just felt like powerful and amazing. And then I was just kind of like a new mom, and then it was almost like boring, I guess. Like, people didn't care as much as the days went on. You know, you're just kind of turn into a mom, and it's not as exciting because you don't have a newborn anymore. And things just change. I should say that I didn't go to a doctor or anything. I wasn't clinically diagnosed with postpartum depression, but that's definitely what it was. I just didn't feel the need to actually go. I also didn't have the time to go out and do anything about it. And that's also why I wanted to mention in this video, I guess I'll just talk about it now, this company called BetterHelp. It's an affordable and convenient way to get counseling and mental health care online. This video is not sponsored. They're not paying me to make this video, but for full disclosure, the link that I'll put down below is an affiliate link. So I would never promote something that I don't totally believe in, especially when it comes to something like mental health. If you don't know, I have a degree in psychology. I went to college for psychology and counseling, so it's something that I'm super passionate about, and I would never promote something that I didn't fully believe in the realm of mental health or in anything, but especially this. I take it super seriously. So what BetterHelp is it's a website that you can go on, and there's 4 different ways that you can talk to clinically licensed social workers, marriage counselors, psychologists, and you can do video chats, you can do phone calls, you can do direct messaging, or you can do more like email messaging. So there's over 4,000 licensed counselors on there, which is super amazing, and they're all actually licensed experienced counselors. They had to go to school, they had to pass the tests, they had to get the degree, get the license, do the hands-on work. So it's not just like random people on the internet giving you advice. It's actual clinical counselors. Basically, like I said, there's 4 ways that you can do it. So you can schedule a phone call, a video call, or a message chat, or you can just do kind of unscheduled direct messaging where you would message them and they would get whenever you need it and they would get back to you. So it's only $65 a week, and you have unlimited messaging with your counselor. And then there's also financial aid for people that qualify for it. They also use an algorithm to match their customers with their psychologists, so you get someone that is trained or specifies in what you're dealing with. So that's really nice too, because I know I've searched for counselors in the past and it's kind of hard to find someone that you really mesh with, especially if you're not going to go and physically see them and have that kind of connection. So they have an algorithm that will match you with someone, and it takes 24 hours or less for them to match you with somebody. So if you really need help, you can go on there, and it's super easy. And the thing that I love about it is that it is so convenient. So especially for new moms that are going through, this is for anyone worldwide that needs some help, but I just want to talk specifically about new moms because that's something that I'm kind of a part of and that I've experienced, is you don't have time. Like, I could never take an hour to go to see a counselor, especially because I exclusively breastfeed. So Archer doesn't really like to take bottles anymore, and also Caleb works, obviously. So I wouldn't be able to just leave and go to a counselor for an hour. It would take me however long to get to the counselor, to get back, and I just don't have that kind of free time. So the fact that you can do it online and just whenever you need, or you can schedule it for a time that you need it, is just so helpful. Say even like you're having just a really tough day, you can put your baby down for a nap and your counselor's just right at your phone and can get back to you whenever they can. So unlimited messaging whenever you need it, and then scheduled videos, phone calls, or just scheduled messaging if you are more of just kind of like a text chat kind of person, but you want to be able to know that they're going to respond to you at a certain time. It's just like the best thing I ever could have imagined, because I know one of the hardest parts about finding a counselor, finding a therapist, especially as a parent, is convenience and time and money. So only $65 a week for unlimited messaging, and then like I said, there's also financial aid available for people that qualify. And just the convenience, the sole convenience of being able to message someone or set up a chat whenever works for you. You don't have to leave your home, so you can wait for your partner to get home from work, or maybe you work so you have to wait for you to get home, or just wait for your baby to go down for a nap. And I know for me, a lot of times emotions will just kind of come out of nowhere and I won't know that I need that help. So maybe like an hour from now, it's just gonna hit me that, like, I don't know, something sad is gonna hit me for whatever reason. We're like connected to parenting or not, the idea that I could just message my counselor right then and there because I'm feeling something, because even sometimes just getting those emotions out, even if you just need someone to listen, can be really helpful. So definitely check out BetterHelp. Like I said, I will link it down below. This video, they're not paying me to make this video, but I do get paid through the links that are clicked down below, just for full disclosure for you guys, because I would never want you guys to not know that that's happening, and at the same time I would never promote something that I don't fully believe in. So if you feel like you need a little bit of extra help, I definitely recommend checking out BetterHelp. Link will be down below. And yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, or at least it helped you a little bit to hear my experience if you are experiencing postpartum depression, anxiety, baby blues, or just any other kind of depression, anxiety, just hard, big emotions. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this new series. I think I'm going to talk about mom guilt next, because that is something that I struggle with hardcore. Postpartum depression and mom guilt have been really rough for me the past 5 months. So definitely things that I want to share with you guys, be open with you guys about. If you have any questions for me about my experience, feel free to email me, to message me on Instagram, whatever you want to do. Those are always linked down below as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Check out BetterHelp, and you are a new mom, you're doing amazing, you're doing great, everything's gonna be okay, and just take care of yourself, because it's really hard to take care of a baby if you're not taking care of yourself. So just know that I am with you, my heart is with you, I'm thinking of you, and you deserve the help, you deserve the focus on yourself. So thank you guys so much for watching, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!